Oreo Pie! Oh, wait. Oops. I think I just had a seizure. What just happened? Okay.
Put on the skillet, put on the lid. Mammy's gonna bake a little shortening bread. Mammy's little baby loves shortening, shortening. Mammy's little baby loves shortening bread. Mammy's little baby loves shortening, shortening. Her little baby loves shortening bread.
Hi, I'm Phoebe Jeebies, and welcome to yet another episode of Phoebe Gets Baked. And I heard through the rumor mill we're getting optioned. We're gonna be the next hit show on the Food Network. Whoa! In my dreams. Okay, so this also starts our Thanksgiving countdown of pie. The next 3 recipes, including this one, are all gonna be pies that you can make for Thanksgiving. So this recipe is Oreo Pie. Oreo, no, you better try this at home, cause it's so tasty, it's so good.
You put your tongue on the roof of your mouth and you suck in as much air as you can and then you let it go.
This recipe is one I've been doing for a while. It's very simple and just highlights everything you love about an Oreo and puts that into a pie form. In order to make a pie, we need ingredients. Ingredient number 1, Oreos! In an Oreo pie, what? We're using a whole pack of Oreos with 36 cookies in it. Our next ingredient, butter. We're using half a cup of butter, which is pretty conservative for a Phoebe Jeebies recipe, I think. Only half a cup. Room temperature butter. Butter. It's an ingredient in everything I make. Our next ingredient, heavy cream. Oh, so heavy. We're using 2 1/4 cups. Ingredient number 4, powdered sugar. I have nothing to say about that. Ingredient number 5, 8 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. Our next ingredient, extra bittersweet chocolate. This one happens to be 70% cacao, 60%, 70%, anywhere in that range should be good. Our next ingredient, salt. And finally, some Crisco or butter, because you know we're gonna grease the heck out of that pan. Now let's take a look at what supplies we're gonna need. But first, let's make these disappear. Whoa! I'm a witch! So now we're gonna take a look at our supplies. A whisk! I couldn't forget about you. It would be a big whisk. A pie tin for making pies in. A pie tin for making pies in. A pie tin for making pies in. Sound like I'm doing the Monster Mash. Got some bowls. A small bowl. A medium bowl. A large bowl. They're all noisy bowls. And this big metal bowl. The metal bowl can really be any size, but I recommend a metal bowl. A rolling pin. And a Ziploc bag. A Ziploc bag? What are you talking about, Phoebe? You wait and see. Also, we've got a cutting board and a knife. We have ourselves a small pot. Wow, we're working on the stove today. Ooh. And we also have our measuring cups and spoons. So we have 1 cup, a 1/4 cup, and a 1/2 teaspoon. And I also just have a regular old spoon. That's all the supplies we're gonna need for this Oreo pie, so let's get to it. Bippity boppity bye. Wow! Magic! Halloween is everywhere. Let's get started on our Oreo pie. So first things first, we're gonna take our pack of Oreos, take 4 Oreos, put them into our small bowl, and then take a cup of heavy cream and pour them all over top so that those Oreos can soak in that heavy cream. And we're gonna put that bowl into the fridge to chill.
All right, everyone, chill.
While we do everything else. The other 1 1/4 cups of cream we're going to be using later. Next, we're gonna preheat our oven to 350 degrees, and we're gonna grease our pie tin with Crisco or butter, whichever you choose. Let's grease. Grease is the word. Our pie tin is greased. We're gonna put that aside, and now we're gonna get to work on our crust. I know you were wondering, a Ziploc bag? Phoebe, what? We're taking it back. I had a food processor, it broke, but either way, you can make crust without a food processor. So, let's do it. We're gonna take 24 of our Oreos and put them into this big old Ziploc bag, and then we're gonna crush them up into our crust. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're just gonna have some fun. Everything you've been feeling about 2020, you can take it out on these Oreos. So, like, if you want to picture our president, just get all your frustrations out. The angrier you are, the better your crust. After you've gotten out some of your aggression, actually roll your rolling pin, because this is a good way to crush everything. All right. I've gotten out plenty of frustration, so I'm expecting a delicious crust. Oh boy. Now that we've got all of our Oreos crushed up, wow! We've got half of our butter, which is a 1/4 cup, half a stick. The other half we'll be using later. And we're going to take this and melt it. Our butter has melted and is ready to join with our Oreos to make a delicious crust. So now you're just gonna open up your baggie and dump them on in. Phoebe makes a mess. And now we're gonna give it a good stir. Make sure all that Oreos get soaked in all that butter. Now we're gonna transfer our Oreo and butter mixture into our pie tin. Ugh. And now, just use the spoon to push your crust in. Try to get it even all the way throughout, the sides and the bottom. Just get Oreo in my hair? No. Now that our crust is into our pie tin, we can put it in the oven, which is at 350 degrees, and we're gonna bake it for just 8 minutes. Now, you don't have to bake an Oreo crust, but this is called Phoebe Gets Baked, so I have to bake something. And when you do bake your Oreo crust, the only difference is it's gonna just get a little bit crispier. Our Oreo pie has come out of the oven after 8 minutes, and now we're just gonna let it cool to room temperature. We can get started on our filling. And for our filling, we're gonna be doing a pretty simple chocolate ganache. So first we're gonna take all of our chocolate, our 8 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate and our 4 ounces of bittersweet chocolate, and we're gonna chop all that up roughly, because when we chop it up, it will melt easier. And then right into the bowl, the large bowl. Now that we've chopped up all of our chocolate, we are going to chop up the rest of our butter, which was a half stick, also known as a 1/4 cup, or 4 tablespoons. I'm gonna put that in there too. And now finally, we're just gonna add a half teaspoon of salt. You know me, a little more for good luck. Now that our chocolate, butter, and salt are ready, we're going to do the remainder of our cream, which is 1 1/4 cups, and we're gonna put that into our small pot, and we're gonna bring that to just a simmer. You want to just get the milk hot enough so that it will melt the chocolate and butter. And that's how we're gonna make a ganache. It's actually quite easy. All right, our cream has been heated up, and we are now going to dump it into our chocolate mixture. And now we're gonna let this sit for 1 minute. We're not gonna start whisking it yet. I'm pretty sure the reason that you wait 1 minute is that you want to make sure the chocolate maintains its shine, but I might be making that up. I'm not sure. I've learned a lot of things over the time that I've been learning to bake, and sometimes they just smush together in my head. 1 minute later. All right, now we whisk. Now that our ganache is all whisked together, we're just gonna take 4 more of our Oreos, chop them up, and throw them into the ganache, just to add a little fun Oreo to our Oreo pie. Chop, 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 chop. Now, put those Oreo chunks on in. And now we're just gonna mix it together a little bit more. In we go. Now that our ganache and our crust have been combined, we're gonna stick this in the fridge and let it cool down for about an hour. Our pie has just come out of the fridge. You're gonna notice it's in a different container. This is a pie that I had pre-made, so I wouldn't have to sit around for an hour in drag waiting for our pie to set. You can see it's not gonna run anywhere. I could turn it maybe over my head, but I'm not gonna try. So now that our pie is all set, we can put it aside now. And we're gonna make our Oreo whipped cream. First things first, you're gonna take your metal bowl and your whisk and you're gonna pop them into the freezer for 15 minutes. Remember that cream and Oreos that we put into the fridge at the very beginning? It's finally time. So we're gonna fish out those Oreos, and what I like to do also is I'll scrape off each side of the Oreo just to get extra Oreo flavor into the cream. And now, all we need is the cream. These delicious soaked Oreos, you can do with them whatever you want. I always eat them, so I'll be saving that for a snack. And now that our whisk and our bowl are out, we can take our cream, pour that into our ice cold bowl, and we can add our 1/4 cup of confectioners or powdered sugar. And now, we whisk. We're gonna whisk this together until it starts to form a whipped cream. Don't over whisk it, as it will almost become butter-like. You'll know the consistency when it gets just stiff enough to hold its form on your whisk. It's gonna take a few minutes. We got our whipped cream. Look at that Oreo-y color, yum. So now, you can make this as difficult or as easy as you want. If you want to just spoon dollops of whipped cream on top of your pie, that's totally fine. Decorate it however you want. I'm going to show you the way I do it, which is easy, and you do not even need a piping set to look like you piped this beautiful decoration on top of your pie. So we're going to grab a Ziploc bag, and if you happen to have a piping set, you can use it. I'm going to use mine because I have it, but if not, you're just going to fill up your Ziploc bag with your whipped cream, put it all towards one corner, and just cut a little hole the size that you want to come out, and then you can decorate it. Easy hack. I'll show you what I mean. In order to get them as symmetrical as possible, I start with the opposite sides, and then you kind of just gotta wing it a little bit. There we go, and one in the middle. And finally, final step. If I did my math correctly, you should have 4 Oreos left. I hope I did, because if I can't count to 36, we're in trouble. So we're gonna take 3 of those Oreos and very carefully and swiftly cut them in half. You do it all in one movement like that, it should go great. And then just take them and stick them on top of those circles you just piped. And then in the middle, we keep our whole Oreo, plop that right on top so people can read what kind of pie this is. And that's that! Look at our Oreo pie! She's camera ready. With our pie all decorated, that must mean we're done. Oh no, more! That's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another episode of Phoebe Gets Baked. If you enjoyed this episode, you can follow me on Instagram at Phoebe Jeebies NYC to keep up with more content and baking deliciousness. If you do bake along at home, I love to see people try out my recipes and tell me what they think. You can use the hashtag Phoebe Gets Baked and share those with me, tag me, use the hashtag. If you would like to tip me, send a virtual tip to your baking queen, you can do that on Venmo or Cash App. And my handle is the same, just as it is everywhere, Phoebe Jeebies NYC. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode. I hope that you enjoy this Oreo pie. Be safe, everyone, and I will see you for our next episode. As I promised, more pie coming soon. So first we're gonna take all of our chocolate, our 8-ounce Oreos. Oh. Don't sing anymore. I'm already not able to use the royalties of all the songs that I use. Eek. No. I think blue spoons. I think that's it. Almost done. From tutu tatatita. All right. Say that a lot. Okay. All right. Okay. I believe you. Rock your body in time. Ooh. Wow. All right. Nope. I did it again. Well then.